welcome the viewers to this devotion this day. I'm Bishop Dr. Kenani Ndlovu of Lateran Ministries. I'll be with you as I talk about devotions of how we commit ourselves to the things of God. I will take a series and talk about shaping our destiny in our devotion. And I would like to start by reading Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5. And the Bible reads, before I formed you, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. And that's Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5. The scripture puts it very clear that God knows us. God has appointed us. So I want to bring out these two things. God knowing us and God also appointing us. Viewers, I want to say each one of us has an appointment and each one of us is known by God. The Bible also tells us in Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 3 that commit your ways, commit your plans to the Lord and you will be established. And so this day I would like to bring to your attention of the fact that God already has a plan for you. God already has a destiny, a good destiny, because he says in Jeremiah 29 verse 11 that I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you. So God has already a good plan for you. He wants to prosper you. Now, there are certain factors that we have ignored in life when we look at God having a plan for us. And this factor is how we can plan. But how do we work towards that plan? How do we shape our destiny? Now, we need to understand that decision making is one of the greatest things that will change our lives. And there's key decisions that we make in life. The first decision that will help us to shape our life is when we decide to identify with Christ. When we decide to identify with the Lord Jesus Christ as our Savior, that will change our lives. And secondly, when we decide to be all we can in life, no, you must make a decision. You need to refuse to settle for less than you are created, less than you are appointed, less than you are called to be. We must understand that God has set a standard for us and that we need to work towards that standard. When we decide to raise our standards, our values and our expectations in life, God will pick it up. Like he says in the Bible that commit your ways unto the Lord and God will help establish you. So we must understand that when we accept Christ, when we decide to make good decisions, then we have started our journey to our destiny. And there is power in making decisions. Everything that happens to us is actually as a result of the decisions that we have made. Failure, success, and whatever we become is because of the decisions that we have made. Our destiny is shaped by our decisions. What you decided to do previously, what you have decided to do today, contributes to how your future. So, what is it that you want to do today? What is it that you have decided to do? What decision have you made? And I want you to also understand that when the Bible says God knew us before he formed us, God knows our destiny, that does not remove your action. Apart from making a decision, you also must take an action. When we make a decision and when we take actions, we are moving towards our destiny. Every action we take produces either a positive or a negative result. Remember, the Bible puts it clear, we reap what we sow. So the actions that we have taken, the input that we have put in our lives, if you don't take an action, nothing will happen. I'm reminded of, in physics, when we talk of work, we talk of any action that you take and you get the object moving, then you have worked. So the decision that you have made must be followed by the action. And the action must bring results. And so this is how it goes in life. God knows us, he has good plans, but what action have you taken? What decision have you taken? I know we could have made wrong decisions in life, but listen to me, you still have an opportunity to change your course of life by the new decision that you can make today. It doesn't matter what is happening right now around your life. Make a decision to come out of it. You can decide to sit there, nothing happens. You can decide not to make an action, nothing will happen. But make a decision today, and God will surely change your life. I believe that God has blessed you with this brief devotion this morning. And remember, today, make it. God richly bless you, and may God give you strength to commit your way.
Musanza TV, now broadcasting 24 hours every day nationwide. To advertise, call 0955 774299 or 0777 517742 or email musanzatv@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at Musanza TV.
Thank you. This is Musanza TV, many news to present. My name is Vanson Jomba.
How ya corona manzi ativuta maningi so atikire concept pempa imwe vakanso.
As the council, I think there are protocols that are followed when people agree with or they want anything to be done at the market.
The government have got a duty to look something to do for those people so that they start stopping brewing the chaso bit by bit.
Yet gone into aquaculture, you have actually delayed.
But there are those who are calling themselves 21 savages. They are hiding in the name of 21 savages to attack people.
Good morning and welcome to another segment of the Breakfast Show. And we were actually blessed by the powerful word of God, and indeed, may God receive all the glory. And today we want to talk about the life of our fourth Republican president, President Rupia Banda, who just died on Friday at his residence around 19 hours in Osaka. So we just want to continue, giving people updates and also telling people the kind of lifestyle that he lived, and people have continued pouring out their messages of condolences on Friday. On Saturday, Mr. Zambia continued, with their messages of condolences. Chiefs in Southern Province, as well as there are some civic leaders around the country. My name is Alvin Siandavile, and good morning to you, Angela.
Good morning, Alvin. How are you?
I'm all right. How's the morning so far?
The morning is okay. I think the fact that we had rains here in Mazaboka, so I'm sure, because for me, I love rain, so trust me.
We're blessed despite the times that we're in. People were actually getting worried about the rains, the maize, the fields especially. We in some parts of the country, the maize have actually turned, what color can I even call it?
Actually, even experts have predicted that I think even Southern Province won't really have a good harvest this season compared to last year. I think because of just the rains. I think we had the rains, but then the rains were very heavy and the other one, yeah. So there have already been predictions that won't really have a good harvest in Southern Province. So I'm sure it's not even just us in Southern Province. I'm sure even other provinces, because the rains were a bit bit heavy this time around.
And that reminds me, some stakeholders, CSOs, and some farmers around the country have also continued. If the country won't record bumper harvest, that maize can still be used for relief. I think that's a good thing.
The right time, yeah. I think saving it for the rainy days is very important.
But anyway, we are not talking about the rain. We're just talking about how blessed we are to just have rains in the district after
quite a while.
Weeks.
Yeah,
Yes.
after quite a while.
A lot of people are actually getting worried. But today, we want to talk about, continue talking about the legacy that our fourth Republican president, Mr. Rupia Banda, actually the way he lived, the family he's left behind. And government also gave us an update on when he's going to be buried. So give us a brief, the biography about our president.
Okay, so Rupia Bwezani Banda was a Zambian politician who served as the president of Zambia from 2008 to 2011 before being defeated by opposition leader Michael Chilufya-Sata. Born in Zimbabwe to migrant Zambian parents, he became interested in politics quite early on in his life and became a member of the Zambian African National Congress, headed by late Harry Mwangankumbula. However, he soon left the party and moved on to the youth wing of Kenneth Kaunda's United National Independence Party, UNIP. With time, he rose to prominence and became an influential figure in Zambian politics. Prior to becoming the president, he held several important diplomatic positions and was the vice president during the administration of President Levi Patrick Mwanawasa. After serving as acting president following Mwanawasa's death, he was formally elected the president of Zambia in 2008. As president, he focused on the economic development of Zambia and played a key role in promoting trade with other countries. He had become a successful businessman before he plunged head into politics, and his business acumen helped him in rejuvenating trade. In his personal life and legacy, Rupia Banda married Hope Mwanza Makulu in 1966 and had 3 sons. With her, Hope died of breast cancer in 2000, and he was devastated by the loss of his beloved wife. He then met Tandiwe, a political science teacher who more than 30 years his junior. The couple went ahead with their relationship in spite of the huge gap and got married. His second wife bore him a set of fraternal twins. I think we've been seeing it on social media lately, where people have been wondering how these kids have grown so fast.
And it's been trending.
It's been trending. I think I saw that picture that I showed by my mama was telling me, are these the twins? And then I was going through the comments, everybody was just saying, this can't be the twins. Because I just remember when he was elected as president, when he would take them everywhere, there were these small children. But right now they are very big.
And one thing is that I think Arabi's children have lived social media free life.
Yes, I think we haven't seen much about his the twins. This is just when we're actually seeing the twins and how that's why people are very surprised that they've grown that much, because they haven't really been on social media. They wouldn't even know who they are at this particular point in time.
I'm equally, one of those that are somehow, I don't know if I can call it surprise, because I actually didn't know anything about it.
You don't know about the twins?
I didn't know anything.
That he had twins? Wait, we are all surprised because the twins have grown, and you're surprised because you know that he had twins. How? Because the time when he was just elected, he would go with the twins literally everywhere. If he's going into a plane, he used to dress the people in black. At that time, I still remember the time. There's another time during an independence celebration when the kids were crying for the cake. Where have you been, Alvin? He used to be there literally everywhere. When they go during parliament, you have holding the two, the boy and the girl, everywhere that he was.
I think on that one,
I'm disappointed in you.
It's okay to be, but then I don't have to lie to people.
No, I'm glad. I'm actually glad that you just following suit and saying, they've grown when you didn't even know.
I'm actually more disappointed in myself.
Thank you.
Should I be disappointed in myself, or they lived a social media free life?
No, but then the time when they were kids, when he was just elected, they used to be with him literally everywhere. I think that's why people are saying we are surprised that these kids have grown, because they used to be around the media with the father everywhere he would be. Like, he would be with them. Like
the point in time in my life when I literally didn't want anything to report about politics, not until I convinced myself that everything revolves around politics.
Politics, yes.
So we continue talking about the legacy of RB, and he's also, people have identified him as a unifier. You remember during the past elections where he brought President Lungu and President Aga Ndijima together.
I think that's one thing that people are actually praising him for bringing peace between the two. I think that's something that nobody thought he would do, but he managed to do it. I think that's one thing that people are praising him for. I think even someone I talked to even asked, I hope they can, now that he's gone, I hope they can still keep that peace that he preached. And then not just that, I think you even saw a fact, one man said the fact that we're losing these leaders who are supposed to be giving advice to the sitting, because I think you'd see him visiting Rupia Banda quite often. I think this is what we need. You kind of get knowledge from people that have done this before. And the fact that now we are losing these people, it's becoming a bit hard, because these people have knowledge where they made a mistake. Say, okay, don't do this that I did. I think do this that I didn't do, to make Zambia a better place. Because you always need someone who's done what you've done before to give you advice.
One thing again, before we go to the Zambia National Congress Party that was led by Harry Mwanganku. You remember we went to Samuel Momba where he attended together with President.
Yes.
It was so amazing. I think for me, it was the second time that I was, but that was the time that I was getting closer. So I think that was the time that he was really working with cancer.
Yeah.
It was amazing, though he couldn't be there to
stay long.
The whole ceremony, but it was just amazing. So we keep remembering that gallant soldier. He fought his battles, he lived his life, he served Zambia diligently. For me, I think if I would try to compare presidents, Rupia Banda stands as one of those presidents for me.
I think he just took over. The MMD by that time, so he took over from Manawasa. Yes. I think Manawasa was doing exactly, it was also the best. I think Rupia just took over and did exactly what Manawasa wanted the country to be like, because these people are just doing the same. Manawasa concentrated more on the economy, and Rupia Banda did the same. I think that he just completed the legacy that he had. It's usually, yes, that was left. I think he did it to his best. I think that's why people appreciated him for that, because whatever Manawasa left, I don't think people complained about, no, we've changed things. He just continued doing the best that he could, because as a vice president, so he knew that's what his president wanted, and that's exactly what he did.
And it's also amazing that before he became actually president, he held different positions.
Actually, that's why I was been going from that.
In these political parties.
Yeah.
In the Harry Mwangankumbula led Zambia National Congress party, I think I'm asking myself, like, how old was he during that time? Because I think that's a long time.
That's a long time ago. That's a very long time ago.
He went on to become, vice president. And then president. Obviously,
he was an ambassador to Egypt. I think let me just go through. Let's talk about his career now. So he began his diplomatic career as ambassador to Egypt. I didn't even know that. A role he served in until 1967. This job was a very enriching experience for him, as he gained valuable experience in diplomatic and conflict resolution. He became ambassador to the United States. I didn't know that, in April 1967. And held his post for the next 2 years before he returned to Zambia to accept appointment as the chief executive of the Rural Development Corporation. He embarked on his commercial career in 1970 when he was appointed as the general manager for the National Agriculture Marketing Board, a forum which is today's Food Reserve Agency. He also served as the general manager of the Rural Development Corporation until 1974. During his tenure as a general manager, he contributed towards the development of agriculture in the country. He was made Zambia's permanent representative to the United Nations in New York in 1974. During this period, he also served as chairman of the UN Council for Namibia. After about a year at the UN, he was appointed to the Zambian cabinet as Minister of Foreign Affairs. That was 1975 to 1976. All that. Rupiah Banda was elected as a unique member of parliament for Munali constituency in 1978. At the time, Munali was a great constituency. In 2006, the incubated President Mwanawasa was re-elected, and he appointed Banda as vice president in October 2006, along with a new cabinet and vice president. He was entrusted the responsibility of improving relations with neighboring Zambians. President Mwanawasa suffered a stroke in June 2008, and Banda became acting president. Mwanawasa never recovered from his stroke and died while still hospitalized in Paris in August 2008. And Banda went on to narrowly win the October elections 2008. He stepped down from presidency in 2011 after Michael Sata led the opposition Patriotic Front defeated him in September 2011. It's interesting because I really didn't know much about. I think we all know him as the vice president, who was once the vice president. We didn't know all this, ambassador to the United States, Egypt.
He served as an executive for now FRA. That's so much.
That's a lot.
That's so much. Yes.
That's a lot.
This is a man that we were all supposed to learn. This is a man that we're supposed to learn from. Everybody should take interest in just going through, what he did, the position he held, how he started politics.
And you know what's funny? I think even during the death of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, I think we were here with Naomi talking about the fact that people only get to start taking interest in you after you are gone. Because even with Dr. Kaunda, when he dies, you start going deep into his life history, getting to know what he did, what he didn't do. That's when people become appreciated after they are gone. Right now, we're knowing about the fact that he was once an ambassador to this place and that place. This is now when you appreciate the fact that he has really, saved a lot in the country. He's been he's had diplomatic career is gone way back. Yes.
I think for me, apart from just knowing him that much as the president, the fourth Republican president, I think it's a challenge. I've been challenged to actually get to know and read more about this gallant soldier who fought and served this country so well. Somebody doesn't have to become a legend when they're gone. Unfortunately, one of those people that now I think will identify or call him as a legend because he served in so many positions and he inspires us a lot, especially us young people to take up leadership positions. Nowadays, youths are not taking up the mentor. They're not standing up. I think this is one man who stood up for himself at that tender age. Citing the Zambian National Congress, I think this is what spoke to me a lot. Even that time he was in politics.
He was there. And one interesting thing that you think that you didn't know, I'm sure you didn't know. Actually, I just knew it also when I talked to a certain man here in Mazabuka. Actually, even I hear the first ladies didn't have an office in terms of recognition. It's during his tenure that he decided to have an office for the first ladies. Not really an office where you can recognize. If you want to find the first lady, you can go and meet her there. So he says it isn't that even empowered women, because now if you're in office, your role is to empower, you get my point. It is, first ladies are not recognized in that way. It's after him, when he came in, he says, I think we need to recognize these people. You could an office for a first lady, which is happening up to now. I think you saw have seen there's this foundation for this first lady. She's got this foundation, because they're working through their office also to help other people. So all that said from him. So this is him So all these youth empowerments that we've been seeing for the women, I think all stemmed from there, because that's now the job that the first ladies have now, to help other women and other people out there.
Apart from just that, a lot of people have spoken, messages have continued coming through, and people are speaking, especially for some of us who did not know so much about his background, apart from just knowing that he was Zambian. People have continued, revealing the kind of lifestyle that he lived. So apart from just that, I think funny, but certain things must be stated. I think during the RP's time, I think the economy was, I wouldn't say at its worst, we saw a situation where we had access to so many things.
So it was at its best, actually.
Yes, but there was one funny thing during campaigns where we had sweets.
Yes, I think money at its time was in circulation. It was in high circulation. I think that time we can't deny it. The dollar was low. I don't want to use that. I know I know where you're heading, and I don't understand.
There was also this particular thing where, is it the time that we had these 50 odd currency 50 kwacha, where we had 50 kwacha, plastic 50 kwacha ever in the country.
Yeah. I think so. I think so. Otherwise, in his time, man was everywhere. In his time, man was everywhere. And yesterday, there's a man who appeared on Diamond TV. The program was that he said, "Let us not only talk about the good, let us talk about the bad." Do you think so? Do you think it's really important that we talk about the bad that someone did now when they are gone? Because he made that comment and it struck people's attention, I think, even on social media.
But should we always scatter roses when somebody's dead?
No. So
it means the good and the bad must be talked about.
But you know how it is. But our tradition, we believe when someone goes, let them go. They go with praises. I think I've never seen. Look, you will find someone was really a bad man, but then they say the person was a good man. I think tradition isn't it like our tradition or something?
Exactly what I'm saying. Why should we scatter roses when somebody's dead?
So I'm saying this is like yes.
That's a wrong way of doing things. Why should we praise somebody when they are gone? Why should we always remember? Why should we only remember but the good things and not the bad things?
So I'm thinking, don't you think it's because of our tradition, maybe?
Maybe just
African tradition where Muntakafa, let us stick to the good that person did.
Yeah, but at the same time, I believe we need to learn from the wrongs that they did and how they corrected their situations. We need to learn from that.
Problem if you come out and say something very bad, you're going to be taken as that's a you know how it is, because we really do that. So that man who went out on the show and said that, look, he caught people's attention because of that. It was like, it's not necessary and all that. Otherwise, you're right, we really should do both, but I don't know why people just feel when the day should be respected. I think people just get scared, like, why saying bad things, maybe something might happen to you or something. Otherwise, you're right, we really need to do both.
Yes.
We really need to do both.
So I was on the point where I was talking about when he was contesting for the second time, where we had, is it that time when we started seeing Millimil branded
underwear,
then
slippers,
yes,
everything was branded.
That was I think the turnaround in Zambian politics. I think the PF also adopted that one. So many parties. I mean, we saw the issues of even with the current government, we saw branding bicycles and giving people.
Yeah, literally at this time, everything was branded. You find everything was branded. The fact that you can even brand underwear, that was a very that was too much.
Messages from Airtel.
Yes, talking about.
Messages from Airtel.
I think that's why after he lost, you remember he cried. Huh?
Yes.
He cried because he really did the most.
And he said, "I thought I was doing the best for the people."
But honestly, Alvin, he did the best for us. I think let's talk about the economy. He was a president for the people. I think he did the best. It's just that I think that was just Sata's time. Sata, I know he was in opposition for a very long time and he used to do the most as well. I think so. It was a stiff competition, but I think Sata just was deserving of that one because he really fought for a very long time.
Yesterday I was having a conversation with a friend, a colleague actually. He said, RB's times were one of the best.
Yeah.
Because people did not vote for him. They didn't look at what he did. They didn't just want him. Then I asked him, but what did
why?
He said he was a unifier and people did not want him like that. He made a reference to the UPND government where he said, look, things are hard, but we are seeing a situation where everybody has been equalized. Okay, everybody's receiving similar, have the same opportunities than he referred to than in the previous government, where we saw only a certain number of people, especially those that were aligned to the previous, to the party were benefiting. He said people didn't want Arabi to continue because he was unifying them. Because it's not only, yes, we had selfish individuals are always there in one.
All the time.
But we saw a situation where you and I were equal and were receiving equal opportunities. And he went on to say they didn't want him because of that. Instead, they wanted a government that was going to have groups.
So in short, you're soft. That's what he's trying to say.
And even during Arabi's time, I think we didn't have these issues of tribalism.
No. I think that's why people appreciate him much, because he made sure that wasn't even there in his time.
So I think that is one of the things that we need to remember. Of course, you cannot be all perfect. I cannot be all perfect.
Definitely, yes.
So the good should actually outweigh the bad things. And if it happens like that, then definitely win people's hearts. So for me, I think he won my heart. It was so sad that when he contested for the second time, he didn't go through. He didn't get much votes that he anticipated. I think that is what even led him to crime.
He did too much. That's the problem with elections. You do too much. I think because the fact that I think you've explained it better now. I understand. The man who told you people just didn't want, not because he did something bad. I think that explains everything, because literally he did everything okay. The dollar was at the right, was okay. The economy was just okay. There was money in circulation. I think, as you have said, people just didn't want him because I think the way you've explained. So it was just such as time. I think it was just his time. Not that people didn't really love him. Otherwise, the country was just okay even as he was living. He didn't leave much distraction and all that.
Yeah, and we're hoping that as the burial is being prepared tomorrow, we're told dignitaries, the head of states from different countries, this is the time that they're going to pay their last respect tomorrow, and people can actually find a way. These issues of COVID have now subsided. We're seeing a situation where we're even recording
zero cases. Actually, he has been recognized. I think even the famous King Elizabeth has sent also condolences to the family. That just means a lot. That just means to the Zambia. That is very happy. I saw it on social media. I'm like, wow, did she? That just means a lot. That means she really knew who he was. That means he was really a man that did great things. Because for a queen to recognize, that means you really did great things. Because now she is literally the most prominent person that we have here in the country. So for her to even know who you are, send you a condolence message, that means a lot. That means he really was a great man. Yes. He really was a great man.
And we should actually join hands in praying for the family. It's not easy to lose the father. I remember the time that I lost my father. I was at a tender age. Then it took me time to stand up on my own, especially for the twins. I feel for the twins because I think they're still young.
They're still very young, yeah.
They still need the father's love. But I'm glad they have elder brothers. I think elder brothers will do a great job mentoring the twins.
And the fact that, I love the fact that they've been away from social media. That means they really have a quiet life. There would no paparazzi everywhere, no people trying to capture you and see how you're looking now. The fact that we are knowing how they look like now, so I'm sure they'll just be walking freely. It's like, okay, people wouldn't recognize them much because they've eventually been out there because the problem is if you are around social media, that means everyone is trying to, right now, people would be trying to look for them to see how they're crying, how is person looking now that the father is gone. That's how Zambia people are, because if they see you walk, you want to see manje agura vicha, now the father is not there. You know how it is. People are petty like that. So I'm glad that, because then they'll be able to mourn in peace. They would go where they want to go, and people didn't recognize them that much because they've been away from social media.
So before we go on a break, something just clicked. Something just knocked in my head. Would you prefer you see a situation where Arabi's sons, daughters are appointed in these higher positions just to carry on with the legacy?
No. I feel sometimes those things are like I don't really trust those most. The fact that if the person willingly is into politics, some people that just not into just politics or want a private life. Maybe she wants to be a teacher, maybe the other guy wants to be a doctor, away from the father's legacy. I think you should let that be. Not, other people sometimes will do their appointments because they feel your dad did this for the country, I think should be part of this. I don't think so. I think if the daughter wants to be a politician or the son, I think they would fight for that position themselves. Let them do that themselves. Not where, because Arab-based children, they just get appointed because the Arab-based children, without even knowing if they have the capabilities of being a politician. Because being a politician is not something that is easy. If you just say Alvin is a man or Rupia Bana, let's appoint Alvin to be an ambassador to Egypt. What if he's not even interested in that? Because if you really want to be Alvin, you're going to work hard for that position. We're going to see that, okay, this person is really a politician, People, oh, okay, well, as then the people will recognize your abilities and say, okay, I think this person can really do this. So I think this thing should be letting the person do that reading, not because this person belongs to that, let them be this.
I think I remember even during the time of Sada, we saw Sada coming on scene, and I didn't actually know him.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
funny how people describe him on Facebook. I won't go to that. We saw a situation where he was brought out this political scene, and I think he, from that time, ECL was elected. I think we didn't hear much. We don't know. We don't hear much about
him.
Yeah. So I think I concur with you when you say if they want to be politicians,
they will be,
and they need to find ways of getting it.
And actually, that story that you're talking about. Let's not. I don't talk about much, but it's fun.
Tell me, I've given you an idea.
Because how these things happen with that situation, because he was a grown-up man by that time, so he knew what the father did. The other people that even take advantage sometimes. I'll give an example of myself. I don't want to go much into that. If I'm a rich man's daughter, and my father, because I know that my father was a manager there, and I'll take myself there because I know that because my dad really worked hard for that, and you try to take advantage of that situation, knowing that my dad was a prominent person. I think I can get whatever I want to get. And that is a wrong perception that people. That's a very wrong perception in trying to get into politics. I think if you remember, he decided to do this, he lost. If you remember, he lost, he tried to go into another political party, that also didn't go very well. It's because if you're just not a politician, you are just not. Because I mean, what he thought is the fact that my father was this or that, let me stand and then definitely I'm going to win. But then people didn't really see those capabilities, and he didn't.
But then, different from that one. Brought out you gave us an example of Zambia Sugar. I think during the time that our father died, my brother was still at school, was studying electrical engineering. My father used to work for Zesco, and when there were vacancies, he was like, okay, maybe, and he proved. I think my brother worked better than my father. So.
He went to school even before your dad died. Yes. That means he had a passion for it even before your dad died.
And he actually rose to a better position than the one my father had. So equally, Arabi's sons and daughters, they can, if they want to be on the political scene, I think they need to dig their way up.
Yeah.
They need to get up and make sure that they stand for what they want. Time is not with us. Any last remarks?
Just to so he'll be buried on the 18th, which is Friday, at the presidential